In this video, I'll be making a vector speedometer. To do that, I'll be using the pattern along path effect. And with that said, I'll just get right into it. So I'll click right here on the ellipsis tool and hold Ctrl and Shift on the keyboard, and I'll make a perfectly round circle of about that size. And let's give that a black fill color. And I'm going to click on the rectangle tool and make a nice tall rectangle of about that size relative to the circle. And let me open up that menu. Right click on the rectangle, click on copy to copy that to the clipboard, and I'm going to click on the circle right here. Come over to the path effects menu, and I'm just going to look for pattern along path. Click on that, and by default it's set to single stretch. Let's change that to repeated stretched right here in the pattern copies, and then click right here on this button where it says link to path in clipboard, and that is right there what you get. Let's increase the spacing to about that right there looks pretty nice. Let me go to a value of like 4. A value of 4 looks pretty good. So that right there looks pretty nice. What I'll do now is come over to path, click on object to path to finalize that. I'm going to click on this rectangle and delete that. We don't need that anymore. And I'll make another circle. Hold Control and Shift and make a perfectly round circle of about. Let's make a circle that is a little bit smaller than this original circle. Let's give that a different color. Gray is a fine color. And I'm just going to place it right here. Right there is where you want to place the circle. Maybe you can yeah, right there somewhere you want to place that. Let's hold Control and use this handle right here to make it a little bit bigger. And I want to make it a little bit bigger. And I want to place it right about there, where I'm cutting a little bit more of this area than I am of this area, just to get that nice look that we're looking for. So with that done, hold Shift on the black object, come over to path, click on difference, and you'll get that shape right there. And that right there is our speedometer shape done. Let me press Ctrl D on that to duplicate that, and let's give that a gray fill color. And then with that selected, let's come over to the path effects menu and click on offset. And let's give that an inset by clicking right here on the minus button. And I want to give that an inset of about that size, so it needs to visually look something similar to this one right here. With that done, come over to path, click on object to path, and that will be finalized, and the path effect is now gone. What I want to do next is I want to apply a gradient to this gray object, but before I do that, I'm going to come over, zoom in, click on the black object and give that a red fill color. And I want to now click on the gray fill object and come over to the fill and stroke menu and click on the radial gradient option right here to give that a radial gradient. And then right here on the gradient stops, I want about 4 stops, but before I do that, I'm just going to take the transparency, increase that, and then I'm going to add 2 more stops. So 1 stop, another stop, and I'm going to click on the first stop and make that fully transparent, and I'm going to click on this stop and I'm going to make that fully transparent. So I'm going to make the last stop as well as the first stop fully transparent. And then the center stop right here, I'm going to make that a darker color, a darker shade of red. Let's come over to the red color and let's give that a darker shade of red. Something like that is pretty good actually. Maybe a little lighter. Yeah. And then I want to come over to this stop right here, and I want to give that the same shade of red with the that the background has. So right there is exactly what I'm looking for. And with that done, I'm going to press G on the keyboard to get the gradient tool. And let's resize the gradient a little bit. So I'll hold Control and drag this stop on the vertical axis. And I'll hold Control and drag this stop on the vertical axis a little bit. And let's take this gradient stop right here, this center node, and just like lower it just a tiny bit and make it, place it right about there. Looks pretty nice. Let's take this top right here and just make it a little bit smaller. Let's drag it to the left a little bit like that. Okay, so that right there looks pretty good. Now I want to zoom in right here, and these two center nodes, I want to take this node right here and place it right there, and I want to take this node and place it very close. And we'll have to readjust the overall um, gradients again. So I'll hold control, drag this up. And so that right there looks pretty good. I want to change the color of the center stroke to a lighter shade of red. Um, something like that. Something like that is pretty good. And with that done, I think that object is pretty much complete. Let me make a background right here. And for whatever reason, the background looks really nice when it's a black color. As you can see, it looks way better on a black background, so I'm just going to give that a black background. One last thing I want to do is just add a needle to this. So let me do that. And so with that done, our speedometer is pretty much complete. And there's a lot of things you can do with this. You can change it, you can cut it right here, you can change the needle. But that's like the basic concept of how to make that speedometer shape. And that right there is what it looks like with a basic piece of text. And so with that, that is it for this video. If you like this video, you may also enjoy one of these.